and welcome to episode 189 of
The Eldritch Podblast.
I am Mags.
I am Jack.
And we are Dungeons and Dragons social commentary podcast where we focus on the social element of D&D.
We give advice to players and dungeon masters, old and new.
But most importantly, we believe in creating a safe, inclusive, and welcome space in the TTRPG community.
So if that sounds good to you, subscribe, comment, like, sign up to the Patreon, buy a t-shirt.
And give me a little gift.
And give me a little gift.
Give me a little gift.
And after you've done all of those things, now you can watch the video.
Yeah. Give me a little gift in the form of food. Huh? If you were to get, listen, if you were to put
Margaret
your best foot forward.
And give you one gift, one food gift?
Anyone. Give anyone one food gift.
What would it be?
Yeah, you really wanted to make someone be like, this is life's worth living. Watch out.
You know what I'm going to say?
No. What? What are you going to say? Pizza. What are you going to say? What are you going to say?
I got you a gift the other day.
My advent calendar.
And you haven't opened it.
Listen, Jack, listen. Listen, don't worry about what time it is for us.
What, it's like 1 o'clock?
We got up. We got ready. We're on this couch.
yeah, but it means you can open after this.
Yay, I got an advent calendar.
You get an open advent calendar after this.
Yeah, at time of recording. Happy 1st December. Oh my goodness gracious me.
1st of December today on this fine Sunday.
I will.
The day of Jesus,
yes.
Our God, our Christ,
yes.
our Lord, our Savior.
Yes. Yeah, I will say we were in Discord with some of the mods last night, hanging out, playing WoW. Did someone put on All I Want for Christmas Is You the second it turned midnight?
Yeah.
For December 1st? Yes, they did.
Did it go insanely hard?
It absolutely did.
It did. What are you doing with my foot?
Listen.
Why are you touching my toes?
Look, I need you to back up.
Why are you playing footsie on camera?
How about that? I need you to back up.
I can't back up. The dog's locked me in. I'm locked in.
Like the bottom of your sock is like really rough, and it's hurting my knee.
Rough.
Yeah, it's
okay,
rough.
I'll put it down like that.
Thank you. That's better.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's better. Yeah, that's better. Look,
all right, okay.
Again, is it a rush to get on this couch? Jack sits down first. I set up the camera and everything. Do I have to fight my way through to get a spot on this couch because of this old man here you see right here? Yeah, maybe it is. Yeah, maybe it is.
You got to click record. So you're the last one down.
I'm the last one. Yeah, I'm the last one standing. You know.
Yeah.
So, thankfully, I'm blessed with a nice end today.
Yeah.
I will say.
There's no bad end now.
Yeah.
This movie's a lot better. It is a lot better.
Yeah.
Don't lie.
True. No, it is. It's still bad. Don't get me wrong.
It's not perfect. I mean, has it ever been perfect?
No. Will it ever be perfect? No.
Can an be?
True. Good question.
Oh, I did say it.
Good question.
I don't think that's a swear word, is it?
I don't know.
What time was it?
3 minutes.
All right, I'll remember that.
Yeah. Well, anyway, what food would you give someone? What food would you give someone?
See, I think there's something to be said about an advent calendar.
Yeah, I think so.
Because I think
I got your whole month sorted.
It's just, it's a food gift.
Yeah. Bit jaunty.
That like celebrates a time of year.
Yeah.
But you're gonna have joy with for a whole month.
Yeah.
I think that's.
I think
there's
so,
longevity in it. Do you know what I mean?
When I used to live with Matthew, his mum is a big advent calendar gal. And she would always buy me an advent calendar when we lived with each other.
I got you a lint bear one.
You did, and I loved the lint bears.
You go crazy for lint bears.
I do go crazy for
lint bears. As soon as we get sort of around Christmas time or Easter time and there's lint bears or lint bunnies,
I love
you go crazy for them. So I was like, don't know what? She's going to ask me. But what I'll do is if I microdose her lint bears every morning, then she'll never ask me.
Yeah, true.
Microdose and lint bears.
Yeah, I think advent calendar is a great shout. Only relevant
in December.
Yeah.
Unless.
Well, says who?
Says who?
Says who?
Well, see, the thing is, it comes down to like, if you were to give me a gift, there's one gift I think that would transcend all. If somebody, because it's my favorite food, and I don't get to eat it very often.
What, a burrito?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody comes to me and says, "Hey, here's a burrito."
Yeah.
It's fully loaded.
Yeah.
It's got all the trimmings. It's got the salsa. It's got the guac. It's got the sour cream. It's got the cheese.
Yeah.
It's got little crushed up like tortilla chips in there.
Yeah.
It's got the meat.
Yeah.
It's got all that good stuff.
Yeah.
I might have to kiss you.
Yeah. Warning. Hey, warning. You if you don't want to get kissed, never get him a burrito.
And if you do want to get kissed,
well, you know the path
there's a
forward, don't you?
surefire way to get a kiss from me. What about
and
you?
it's a burrito, spaghetti bolognese.
Yeah, easy.
I love spaghetti bolognese.
Tell you what, like, you're gonna disagree hard with me here.
No.
No. It's a good thing. So
You're gonna say about penne, aren't you?
no, I'm not. So my mom makes a really good spaghetti bolognese.
She does make a really good spaghetti bolognese.
Like she's like doing some batch cooking and freezing some meals.
Yeah.
And one of the things she likes to make is spaghetti bolognese.
Yeah.
The spaghetti bolognese that you like is the Dol Mio original sauce out the jar.
Yep.
And I hate it.
I love
I think
I
it
love
tastes bad.
Listen, to me, it's convenient, it's fast.
Yeah.
It's
it's
what I had when I was a kid. Yeah.
My mum making it for us.
No.
And it was just putting it's like a block of frozen bolognese.
Yeah,
you just put it in the pan and let it melt.
Yeah, no, certainly not.
It's so good.
But if you don't have that, I love the Dol Mio sauce one. I love it. It's what I had as a kid, right?
For the longest time,
Mhm.
I was like, I'm gonna have spaghetti bolognese. Haven't.
You just don't like that one.
I actually really like spaghetti bolognese.
Well,
every time we have it now, I'm like, this is great.
Well, we had a special spaghetti bolognese we used to make with with a TikTok one.
But it takes hours.
It does take hours.
I don't have time for that.
It does take hours. It is delicious though.
It's good. It takes too long.
It does take way too long.
Way too long.
True.
Anyway,
how are you?
How are you?
Hey,
tell me the food.
You don't need to hover in the doorway like that.
No, just.
You see the ball and chain.
Come in and close the door behind you.
Yeah.
Close it behind you.
Lock in.
Yeah, lock in.
We don't worry about it. You're welcome.
And then tell me down in the comments, what's the food that you would like to be given?
Yeah. What food would you give? What food would you like to be given?
What would you give and what would you like to be given?
I would give.
I give spaghetti bolognese because you're the one person I'm giving food to.
Oh, certainly. Oh, yeah. Oh, I give you a burrito. If I was just to you know what I think goes a really long way? A Terry's chocolate orange.
It does go quite a long way.
I feel like a Terry's chocolate orange goes a long way.
Terry's chocolate orange goes hard.
Yeah.
We had Terry's chocolate orange last night. It was so good.
Yeah. Anyway,
so good.
I'm sorry. I don't. What?
How are you all?
Yeah. How are you? I hope you're having a wonderful Thursday.
Thursday.
Hope you're having a great Thursday. Yeah. How are you?
I'm really good. How are you?
Good. I'm good.
A little sleepy.
Yeah.
Stayed on World of Warcraft
a
little late.
3 dungeons in classic WoW last night.
Finished at like 2 a.m. and we were like, this is too late.
Yeah.
So we're putting in a hard rule. No dungeons. We don't start a dungeon after 11.
Yeah. And you know what? The dog woke us up, and I'm normally all right with getting woken up in the night.
No, you're not.
I am. I normally
not.
I can just go back to sleep. Normally I'm fine.
You can go back to sleep, but in the morning you're always like, oh, I've had a dreadful sleep.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's been a dreadful sleep.
But does this happen to anyone else? When you wake up when you're in a really deep sleep, like everything's like dizzy, everything spins really badly, and then I can't shake that feeling. It doesn't help that I was getting really bad motion sickness on the game last night. I woke up in the night and I felt really dizzy. So then this morning I woke up. You know when you've had a drink and everything's spinning? It was like that. And that's what I mean when like I'm normally all right getting woken up, but sometimes when I'm just in a deep sleep, it makes me really, really dizzy, like really nauseous.
Yeah.
So that's. And I'm worried I'm getting a cough.
But the thing is, you haven't coughed.
I haven't coughed once.
You coughed loads yesterday, and I was like, oh, just getting sick. This is a nightmare.
Yeah, I haven't coughed
we
once
hate being
today.
sick.
Yeah,
you haven't coughed once today.
And
maybe you were just feeling run down yesterday.
Yeah, and the decider is, can I do a podcast episode without coughing? Because if I was really worried we weren't going to be able to stream because there's not going to be anything more annoying
than you just coughing into the mic.
Me just coughing constantly on stream.
But you seem okay.
I do. I feel okay.
Which is really good.
Yeah, I feel all right.
And then we get a stream. Yeah. Come join us on stream. Honestly, PSA.
Oh.
PSA.
Yes.
To all of you out there, there's, 1,000, 1,500 people who might watch this podcast. If, it gets crazy, might go 2,000, 3,000 or something like that. Come join us on Twitch.
Oh, for real.
I'm not even kidding.
Yeah, for real.
It is so much fun.
It is so
We
much
hang
fun.
out. We talk about fantasy. We talk about things we've watched. We talk about D&D.
We talk with you really closely.
We
as
talk,
well.
yeah. We get to know you, and we've gotten to know so many people in the community. And there's like 50, 60 people who just ride or die.
Yeah,
for it.
and it's great. I love streaming.
They're just there, and we hang out.
Yeah.
And It's a cozy time. It's a lot of fun.
It's a lot of chaos. It's a lot of chaos, I will say.
If you do need things to just fill your time and maybe a little bit of second monitor content and just hang out.
Totally. Yeah,
come and join us.
We're really chatty.
You.
Like our community chat's really chatty. Everyone talks amongst themselves. We talk to you loads. I love streaming.
Do you want to know what? There's been loads of games born out of the community.
Yeah.
There's been loads of games born out of stream.
Totally.
It's like a community within a community.
Yeah, totally.
Like, they're all so close.
Yeah.
Like, games have been born out of the stream.
You mean like what D&D games?
Yeah. Like D&D games born out of the stream, which is really cool.
Super cool. It's
so come join us.
Stream is such a great time. I love stream. It's my favorite part of the job. I absolutely
do.
love
I love
streaming.
it. It's great.
It's just like hanging out with pals.
Yeah,
honestly.
100%.
It's a good time.
100%.
I was gonna say I bought a Stanley Cup.
Yeah, you did.
Listen. You know me. I like a big cup. You've seen my big cup forever, right? I like really cold water.
You do.
And Abby just made a comment the other day. She was like, "Oh yeah, I wake up in the morning, my Stanley Cup still has ice in it," and I was like, "Are you being serious?" And she was like, "Yeah, it genuinely keeps it really cold." So I bought a Stanley Cup, and I can confirm, it kept my. Granted, I put a lot of ice in it
because you put so much ice in your normal cup.
because it's just a glass cup.
You put that same amount of ice in that cup,
which was way too much.
Which was
by
a
the
lot
way.
of ice.
But there was still ice in it this morning.
And that was yesterday morning.
Yesterday.
It was 24 hours after there was still ice in it.
Yeah, insane. Now, was this incredibly expensive? Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Did I buy a bag for it so I can take it around with me? Yes, I did.
I mean, that was something that was actually almost a selling factor for you.
It was a selling factor for me.
Like, when we go somewhere, you'll take your drink in the car, and then you're like, I can't take it in because I'll just have to carry it around.
Yeah.
But now you've got a little strap that you can put over your shoulder.
I can carry it wherever I want.
Yeah.
And you know what? Having something like this would have been great at Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Because you can bring like your own like water cup into Comic-Con, and if I had an actual way to carry my drink around, I would have, but I didn't. So yeah, I would. You know what? Stanley Cup actually worth the hype.
Yeah, I mean,
you know.
Yeah,
it's a luxury item.
Is it worth the hype?
It's incredibly expensive.
Is it? Could you probably get something almost identical that doesn't say Stanley and is far cheaper?
I'm sure you
potentially.
Could. Yeah, I'm sure you could.
And you know, are the accessories a little out there and honestly ridiculous to a point?
Yeah, but that's part of the fun.
Is it?
Yeah, that's part of the fun.
Is the thing that you put on the circle around it where it holds the snacks?
I think people should be able to do whatever they want. I think.
People should be able to do whatever they want. Do I think it's ridiculous? Yeah.
I think the world is hard enough. I think if people want to put crisps and popcorn on top of their drink, let them. You know.
I mean, there is an argument to be made for overconsumption.
There is absolutely an argument to be made about overconsumption, certainly.
Which is what I'm getting at, but yeah.
Certainly. But, you know, if hey, look, if I'm going to buy a cup, I'm going to buy a holder for it, and I'm going to put loads of Javik pins on it.
Hey, and that's totally fine.
And that's that on that.
But look, if I come downstairs and you've got one of those rings and you're eating cereal out of it, and there's like
a piece of cake in it,
there's a piece of cake in it and a burrito in it.
Yeah.
Look, I'm disappointed.
What if the burrito's for you?
W.
I'm weighing up. Should I put stickers on this thing?
No.
You don't think? Do you think the appeal is the fact that it's completely plain? Really?
No, I think the problem is they'll just peel off it and look rough eventually.
You can get properly waterproof stickers, but the stickers I'm looking at probably aren't. Let's be real.
Yeah. I wouldn't, but that's up to you.
Yeah.
Because you can have your badges. You can have your badges on your little carrier.
Yeah. Do you guys put stickers on your water tumblers? I wonder. Like, and if you do they get really gross? Because my old metal tumbler I had, the really big one, I put stickers on that. Granted, they were like just homemade stickers, and they got really, really fucking gross.
Messy and
really gross. And then taking them off's a nightmare. So yeah, maybe I don't actually. I don't know. You let me know. Cheers. Hold on, can you hear this?
Yeah. Yeah, they'll be able to heal that. Heal?
Oh my god, heal me.
Oh
Jet,
my god.
revive me.
Oh my god, Jet, revive me.
So with that, should we get into it?
www.eldritchpodblast.co.uk. Go and check out some merch. Go and check out the Pride collection. Check out the Patreon down in the description for more exclusive content from me and Margaret. Campaign updates. Really meticulous advice on the Patreon as well. Mm-hmm. Come join us on Twitch every Friday, every Sunday, every other Tuesday. Make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe. It goes a million miles to help the video. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to all our patrons over at Patreon.
You have no idea how much we appreciate your support.
If you want to support us over at Patreon and gain access to our exclusive content,
like our D&D campaign updates and our extra monthly live streams,
click the link in the description. More about Patreon at the end of this video. Thank you.
Indeed. So today we are doing D&D Am I the Asshole?
Oh my god!
I think, do we have a submission in here? Yes, we do. We have one submission in here.
Okay.
The rest are from the Reddit. These are all quite long because there is a lot of context in all of them.
I don't mind.
But I feel like context is what makes them.
Context is what makes Am I the Assholes good.
Yeah, indeed. So if you have you ever gone, hey, am I the asshole? Send it in the submission form down below.
Yeah.
I know it's very hard to do. To be fair, I know it's very hard to do. That's why these episodes have the least amount of submissions, right?
Yes.
So many times, by the way, your Am I the Asshole submissions are horror stories.
Just horror stories.
Honestly, just horror stories.
They're just horror stories.
Yeah.
Because you've been done dirty and you don't know if you were somewhere in the wrong, but usually not.
Yeah, no, usually not. So, with all of that being said, shall we get into it?
Yeah.
All right, this first one has been sent in by Zero, and they use any pronouns.
Thank you, Zero.
Am I the asshole for leaving a campaign because of spoilers? And I think the DM doesn't like me personally. For some context, I became friends with this guy called Sam, an online friends, I mean. A few months in, he invited me to a campaign with his partner, Terry, who would be restarting it as it had fallen apart before. I was really excited, especially since I had a pretty heavy themed character that I had been wanting to play, and Terry happily allowed me to play her, as they love real deep angst and drama. Then the spoilers started. I understand keeping your players in the loop on certain decisions, but when I tell you I was getting endgame spoilers, a few examples include, oh, her son, her half-human son, she is an elf, who should be an old man by now, and has been estranged from her this whole time. He's alive and young. He's actually not half human, and he's at this bad guy's place held captive, and also he has a kid, so your character is a grandma now too. Her dead wife. Actually, her human wife isn't human at all. She's one of the last left Fae alive, and by the way, we're going to meet her when we get to this city. Keep in mind, all of these things were told to me above the table, with the whole party sitting there. It's getting really upsetting for me. I like the improv nature of D&D, and obviously I go over things with your players, but not major story spoilers so early in the campaign, especially in front of everyone. So I asked Terry if they could not tell me any more about her story, and to please keep it a surprise for me. Fast forward a few sessions, we had a check-in, where during it, not only did they single me out and imply that I was being a problem player, and honestly, they really embarrassed me too. My biggest fear is being a problem player, so I DM'd them to ask what I had done and how I could fix it, politely by the way. They said I hadn't really done anything, which is not what they were implying in front of everyone else. Then, in a second check-in, one that ended in them angrily leaving the call, they very thinly complained about me in front of the whole party while I was sitting there, because they had an issue about misinterpreting our PCs and their motivations and backgrounds, especially the background NPCs. Several other players also had this issue. It was brought up during the check-in, but I'm the one that they very clearly were talking about in this check-in rant, because they said, and then they ask me for no surprises, so I guess fuck me for making an NPC act different for canon reasons that I can't tell you, since apparently you don't want to know your own story. I don't know, but I left on a mental health break, and I honestly don't know if I will go back, which sucks because I love the party.
What the fuck?
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 What the fuck is going on?
What the fuck? So, I think there's two parts to this, right?
Yeah.
Am I the arsehole for wanting to leave because I've been getting spoilers for my story?
Mhm.
And then am I the arsehole for wanting to leave because what? I'm being bullied online?
Because I'm getting fucking, like, lambasted by the dungeon master.
What the fuck?
Like, the thing is, right, when I first was a dungeon master, the first time I was a dungeon master, I had a story and I didn't know if it was any good because it was the first time I was ever doing anything. Yeah. So I did console in somebody, and they weren't in the party, they weren't in the group, and I was just like, hey, I just want to tell you my story and like the gist around it, so I can, like, you know, get it off my chest and like tell somebody, and even maybe find out if you think it's any good and stuff like that. So I get maybe as a dungeon master feeling a little bit isolated and feeling a little bit left out sometimes.
Totally.
So you're excited, so you
Yeah.
want to tell people, but half the fun, I would say more than half the fun as a player, is finding all these things out in game.
Yeah.
Finding them out in the right way. Like honestly, you could have the greatest story of all time, like ever written, but if you don't present it in the right way, and if the reveals don't come out in the right way, it doesn't come off in like it's an amazing story.
Yeah.
It's the way you tell it.
Yeah, totally.
And like just telling your players plot hooks and secrets and stuff like that. I don't know. I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, and I think something like let's talk about the son, right?
Mhm.
The fact that the son should be an old man, and that they're turns out they're Fae, I think, and then they have a kid. I think that type of stuff you would want to find out in game,
Yeah,
right?
of course you would.
Your character is going by the assumption that they probably don't have much time left to find their child because they're human and they're aging and you're not, right?
Yeah.
And the reveal to be shocking that they're still young for some reason, I think that would be a really, at least for me, a really emotional, impactful thing to happen in game.
Yeah.
And the same thing about the wife. The fact that, oh, I thought my wife was dead. Oh my God, my wife's not dead, but and then to be like, she's not dead, and you're meeting her in the next city, by the way.
Mhm.
I wouldn't want to know that.
Yeah.
I would want those things to unfold at the table.
Like
and
when you see that NPC that you maybe haven't seen or didn't know if you were ever going to see, didn't know if they were dead, didn't know if they were alive. Oh my God, they're still young. You thought they were going to be old, and you see them in game, and then it brings all these questions up, and it raises all of these like plot points that you want to ask the NPC, and that is all just like sapped away from you.
Yeah.
And I just think that's a killer for the game.
Totally.
Me.
Like we have friends who had something similar to this happen. Not verbatim like this, right? But one of their characters was able to was like an oracle and was able to see future events and was able to foresee things that happened next.
Yeah.
And like it just spoiled it completely for them. And the DM also would often be like, "Oh yeah, well, this bad guy, this thing's going to happen," and it was very much on the same lines as, I wouldn't say as bad as this,
Nowhere near as
but
bad as this.
I think maybe that's a case of what were they called, Terry? If Terry is a new DM and hasn't played out a game yet, this probably is just a lack of not knowing about how much to clue your characters in.
Yeah.
And
they might just be excited, and they might want to like get early like feelers out there to say like, oh, do you like this? Do you think this is a good idea? And then if they don't like it,
get your toes
I can't.
away from.
And if they don't, then I can maybe do something about it or something like that. But that sucks.
Yeah.
But then the other part,
Yeah, and
like if you've got a problem with a player, just go to the player and talk to them.
Don't be passive aggressive.
Don't be passive aggressive, and don't bring it up in a group meeting and like indirectly like
really
like talk about them and stuff like that. It's
that's really shit.
Such the wrong way to go about it.
That's properly shit.
So I do not think you're the asshole.
No, I don't at all. The spoilers thing. I think a lot of people would not want that. God, I know I wouldn't. I don't know any of my friends who play D&D. They wouldn't either. But I understand that some people like knowing. Some people like having everything planned out. But it doesn't sound like Zero, you're that person.
Yeah.
I'm not that person. I think a lot of people aren't.
Yeah.
And I think to politely say, by the way, like, can you please just not give my... Can you just not tell me? And to tell those plot lines in front of everyone as well must feel devastating.
Yeah.
It's the only way I can imagine it. And I think to communicate that and then to be met with such passive aggressiveness in front of everyone. Being like, well, fuck me for trying to make an NPC.
Yeah, fuck me, I guess. It's
yeah,
just like,
I know.
what?
That's fucking pestilent
Fuck
behavior.
you.
Yeah, that's
you're being a child.
That's rancid. That's absolutely rancid behavior.
Yeah.
And hey, like, grow up.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, grow up.
Find a better way to deal with your problems.
Totally. And it's okay to be frustrated.
It's okay to have a problem with somebody.
Yeah, absolutely.
But like talk to them about it.
It's okay to be hurt. It's okay.
If you don't, if somebody doesn't know that they've done something wrong in your eyes, how can they do anything about it?
Yeah, totally.
So if you go to them and you're like, hey, like, you obviously don't like spoilers, and I'm really sorry, but the way that blah blah blah, like not great for me and stuff like that. It's like, then we're at least on the same page and open the line of communication where we can do something about it. But no, we're gonna go into a group chat with everyone there, and then just have people catching strays like passive aggressive strays is insane.
Yeah, I completely agree. No, Zero, you are not the asshole.
No.
I'm sorry. I know you say, I took a mental health break. I think rightly so, by the way. I think you don't need this. Especially if you have these worries about being a problem player. I will say, from our experience from reading these things for, nearly 2 years now, people who worry about being the problem player, at least the first step to not being a problem player is being self-aware
realizing
enough.
that
Absolutely.
being self-aware.
And I think don't go back.
If you want to go back, you
Yeah.
need to completely flatten this out with the dungeon master.
Absolutely, you
Like,
need to
squash
talk.
the whole thing.
Yeah,
Like,
and they need to apologize.
And they
to you.
need to apologize.
Yeah.
And if they don't do either of those things, then don't go back.
Yeah, totally. I'm sorry about that, Zero, but thank you for your submission. No, you're fucking not the asshole.
No way.
All right, the next one. This is titled, "Am I the asshole for changing my mind about character age limits before our D&D campaign has started?" Hi everyone, I would appreciate some perspective on a recent situation in my D&D campaign prep. I've been preparing a campaign for a few months, and we were in the middle of character creation before our session 0. One of my players, Alex, a friend of a friend, initially presented a character concept that included an ancient character age, around 5,000 years old.
Wow.
I approved the concept at first, but here is the sequence of events. And I will say, the way that this is written out is basically OP, the DM, and Alex, the player, as a conversation, right? I will make it clear who is who.
Okay.
Here is the sequence of events. Initial approval. I allowed Alex to join the campaign, and I approved their character concept with a 5,000-year-old character.
Okay, cool.
Summoner class creation. Over the next few months, I created custom summoner class for another player, John. Homebrew class request. After seeing the custom class I made for John, Alex asked if we could use a homebrew class that they designed for their character. This request came close to our planned start date. And here's the conversation how it went after Alex requested to use their homebrew class. Me as the DM. Hey, I've been looking at the abilities for the custom class you designed, and some of them seem overpowered. I'm also worried about the impact of having a character who is 5,000 years old. I prefer characters to be no more than 500 years old, unless they are god-level beings or ancient mythical creatures. Could we please work together to balance this? Alex, the player. I don't think the class is overpowered. It's been tested by 3 people, and each ability is hard to activate. I've already created a backstory for my character over 500 years old. I don't see why it's a problem. Me, the DM.
Okay.
I appreciate your enthusiasm, but I'm concerned about the balance and the lore consistency. The abilities could disrupt the game's flow, and having a character with such an extensive past might overshadow others. Alex, I understand your concerns, but the class isn't as powerful as you think. It's designed with constraints, and most abilities are one-time uses with significant build-ups. Plus, having an older character can add depth to the story. Me, the DM. I see your point, but I still believe the class's abilities are too versatile and could unbalance the game. Regarding the character's age, I've decided to stick to my initial preference for younger characters to maintain consistency and a balanced narrative. Alex, the player. I disagree with your assessment of the class. The abilities are high risk, high reward, and not easily spammable. And about their age, older characters can still grow and develop in meaningful ways, adding richness to the campaign.
Yeah, I don't think that's what they mean.
Me, the DM, I understand your position, but I must ensure the campaign is balanced and manageable for everyone, not just me. I will work with you to adjust the class and the character's backstory to fit this campaign's guidelines. Alex, the player, if you don't want the class, I'll just play a different character. I won't make a shadow version of this class. Me, the DM, I appreciate that. Here are some options. Create a new class together, adjust the character's age, or choose an existing base class that aligns better with the campaign's framework. Alex, the player. Okay, here's your solution. I quit. Don't message me again. So Alex left the campaign after trying to find a middle ground and after offering multiple solutions. I feel really bad about this, and I wonder if I handled things poorly. Am I the arsehole for changing my mind about the character age limit and sticking to my decision for campaign balance and lore consistency? Additional context, I aim to maintain a balanced and coherent campaign that's fun for everyone. The custom class seemed too powerful. The character's extensive age could disrupt the story's dynamics. I tried to communicate my concerns and offer solutions, but the player was very attached to their original concept. Am I the asshole?
No, absolutely not. It's look, I've got strong opinions about both of these things.
Yeah.
3 people is not extensive playtesting.
Mm-hmm.
3 people is a tiny, minute, minuscule pool of people.
Imagine if Wizards of the Coast brought out a new class and they're like, we've tested it with 3 people.
We tested it with 3 people.
You know, it's simply not. I understand at your home game it can seem like a lot, but 3 people is not even a percentage of a percent.
Like people who release their own supplements. Like I remember, was it DC 20 by the Dungeon Coach? Like going around loads of different people, content creators, and like, hey, can you play test this? Hey, can you play test this? Hey, can you play test this? Can you give me feedback? Can you give me feedback? That's like, that's a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're getting in touch with a lot of people and you're getting a lot of opinions. And it's that class is then getting put in like a lot of situations and a lot of different hands. People who are more casual players, people who are more metagaming players, people who play in like low stakes campaigns, people who play in really tough campaigns. It's like you're getting a widespread, and that's what you need. It's just like if you've had 3 people play one class, that is not enough for you to come to anyone and say, hey, I've played it, it's balanced.
Yeah, no, it isn't. And again, you know, I feel like there is different rules for something like a home game where it's not going out to the public, right? But the most important thing about doing something like that is your DM has to be all right with it. And clearly DM isn't. And I actually think this is a great example of really strong and clear communication and clear setting boundaries, right? And yes, I understand. I do understand where OP's coming from as the DM being like, you know, I did approve the character. And then I went back on it. That it does suck. That is hard.
That is the one thing. Like, and you're not the asshole. You're allowed to change your mind.
No, of course. You're allowed to come to a conclusion after the fact.
Initially think something's okay. Yeah. And then when you mull it over and you think about the campaign, it's like, look, every single one of us, our fantasy campaign settings, something happened 1,000 years ago. Mm-hmm. Something happened 2,000 years ago where, like, you know, the world changed and now we have order. The world changed and now we've got gods. The Titans are dead. The dragons are gone. Like, something happened long ago. So and that's how we discover like mysteries and ancient things in the world and stuff like that. If you've lived for 5,000 years, you've seen everything. You've seen all of those things happen. And my worst fear about that is, oh hey, I'm 5,000 years old, can I just do a history check?
That's it. And you know, a character that's 5,000 years old has a lot of experience and potential wisdom about a lot of things, right? And I actually think a character being that old, ancient, right? Being that old is actually the equivalent of, my character was a god slayer and now they've lost all their powers and now they're, you know, a normal person. I honestly think it's maybe not equivalent, sorry, not. Like on the same spectrum.
I agree. It's like you've lived a long time. You've lived a long time. You've been around for like historic events.
Something that, you know, I couldn't even begin to comprehend. No. A lot of the characters couldn't. I honestly even think 500 years is a lot, but, you know, nothing close to 5,000. I think you really have to trust a player who is going to come in with a character 5,000 years old. You have to trust that they're not going to use it in a way to be like, oh yeah, I've seen this before. I know this.
Oh hey, can I roll a history check? It's just like, and then you can start to I think that's where a bit of conflict brews. It's just like, oh well, you lived over here and you maybe weren't around, and they were like, I can't roll it anyway. And it's just like, but then the thing is, if you roll good, like I'm gonna feel obligated to give you it. And it's just like, if we're playing a fantasy game where there's like things that have happened in the past, like let's just say, like you take Critical Role's campaign setting. You know, the calamity and the creation of the divine gate and things like that. Like, there's all these like old gods and stuff like that are like buried beneath the earth or something. It's just like, you know, you've seen all of it. You saw it all happen. It's like your character wouldn't be surprised. And you would know things that would spoil it for the other people at the table.
And I think, you know, it kind of gives you like a one-up in a lot of ways with a lot of things. And I think I don't know if, to be fair, if OP is a new DM. They actually never specified. Regardless, though, you know, you have a character that comes in that old. That's a lot of world building, like on the fly, potentially sometimes that you're going to have to do on the fly as the DM.
Yeah, you as a Dungeon Master might not even have it fleshed out, but their character knows because it's 5,000 years old. It's like, you can do it. You need the right player who's going to give you grace, and you really need to trust them. And I wouldn't knock anyone for not wanting a player to be 5,000 years old.
Like, on the surface of it, 5,000, when you just go, oh yeah, my character's 5,000 years old, you're like, okay.
But as a Dungeon Master,
there's a lot of implications to it, I think, actually.
My alarm bells ring if somebody comes to me with that. Yeah. But do you want to know what? Besides all that, I actually genuinely think, like, but yeah, you made a mistake the first time when you were like, yeah, totally fine. But then you've thought about it and you've come to them.
That happens.
And you reasoned with them and you were polite and you were, you know, I think the way that you communicated, the Dungeon Master communicated
and as long as this truly is the way that it was communicated, you know, like we have to trust OP in the fact that this is how the conversation went. But, you know, it gets to the point where the DM is consistently saying, I'm not comfortable with this, as they've said. Here's this reason why I don't want you to play this class. I believe it's overpowered because of this. I think there comes a point where, as the player, you just have to accept it. You just have to accept it. And it's not that this DM wasn't giving them any options. Especially at the end. They were like, here's all these options. And it's frustrating as a player. I get it. It's frustrating having something set out. I understand not wanting to do a shadow version of what you planned. But, look, if you're bringing in homebrew to a game that has a lot of mechanics around it, a lot of rules in it, your DM has to be on board.
If you're bringing in a literal subclass.
Yeah. And just going, hey, I promise it's fine. You know,
3 people have played it. It's fine. It's like I think it's crazy. I think it's actually wild that people could come to you with homebrew and then you say no and then they be upset with it. It's just like, there's so much homebrew that's so bad.
So fucking bad.
So unbalanced.
So bad.
And you have to, it's like, you have literal people who get paid money to design these things because they're the people who, and sometimes they don't even get it right.
Yeah.
And you're saying, hey, it's balanced, believe me, 3 people have played it.
I would have loved to see the homebrew. I would have being so real. I would have loved to see the homebrew.
To have seen the homebrew.
I would have loved to. And the thing is, I'm not saying that Alex, the player, is wrong. Alex is saying that it's one-time uses. There's a lot of build-up. I believe them. But if the DM is saying no, then you just have to respect it.
Hey,
to be fair,
it's once a day. It costs my action. I can only cast Wish. Like, come on, guys.
Like, I see it from both sides. And to be fair, Alex did the right thing by leaving. Yeah. But I just think they left in such a fucking shitty, bratty way. Yeah, such a terrible way. And I can understand why the Alex leaving like that has left OP feeling bad. Yeah. But I don't think OP's the asshole here at all.
I think Alex is the asshole.
I think Alex is the asshole.
100%.
Yeah, I think, I think Alex is the asshole because of how defiant and how it went down.
Just how unreasonable they were.
It seemed very unreasonable. And I think if this conversation was more, hey, look, I've changed my mind. I'm sorry, this class is unbalanced. And Alex came back being like, it's not. Like, I swear it's not. Like, all these things, I really don't want to. And then at that point, they came to the conclusion of, if you don't want me to play, then it's probably best if I don't play in this game. That is a perfect, normal, human conversation. But I think the arguing back and forth.
But I think as well, it's just like, if your Dungeon Master thinks it's fucking crazy unbalanced and you don't think it is, then like, I think going to them and being like, hey, let's just run it as it is. And if you want to change anything, if we get into game and it is unbalanced, I am so willing to change. But you know, I don't want to play a shadow version of the character and stuff like that. It's just like, you're being so unflexible about something that, like, it's been played 3 times, man. Come on, let's be fucking real.
Yeah, I know. And you know, I think it's important to mention that OP has said multiple times, I want this to be an enjoyable experience for everyone.
Because if it's unbalanced, it doesn't just make it bad for me.
Yeah, it makes it bad for everyone.
All the other players.
Everyone. And granted, it sounds like the DM isn't closed off to homebrew classes. They created a summoner class for another player, you know?
So it's just obviously fucking broken.
Yeah.
Which, like,
at least for
homebrew
that
is.
table, it
Yeah.
just what would be broken at the table might not be for another one. But
Yeah.
if your DM is saying no
Yeah.
and giving you genuine reasons as to why, you have to trust them at face value. They're
100%.
not doing it. They're not doing it for, especially when they're setting out their intentions like this. I think this is just a good example of how you can do your best with communication, but if someone doesn't want to listen, they're not going to listen.
Yeah, and if you even if you present multiple options and multiple solutions, they want one thing and that's it, and there's no way to shift it. It's just fucking. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah,
there's
totally.
nothing you can do.
Yep, totally.
Not the asshole.
No, I don't think so.
Alex is the asshole.
Yep, I think so. So this is this the penultimate?
Yeah, probably. Four sounds about right. But am I the assholes? Usually because they're so long.
No, it's not the penultimate.
All right.
You know what? I've skipped around so much.
I've noticed you do that.
Yeah, I've really skipped around here. All right, this is the penultimate.
Oh my god.
This is the penultimate.
Penult?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the title of this one is Hi, it's me. I'm the problem. It's me.
No.
Okay, so I've been told that I'm a problem and I own up to it. But I'm also frustrated that no one else who does similar things to me seem to get scolded as much. I'm one of the younger players in the group and I have been playing D&D for a lot less time than the others, so I recognized I have a lot to learn from them all. How am I the horror story? Well, I made an annoying character by accident, and she keeps bringing the mood down. She's an angsty half-elf who has famous parents, and she overreacts to a lot. I also sometimes want to do things that are important to me, but I don't realize that they aren't important to the overall story, so I have been called selfish, and I get it. There are 7 players in the group, and spending time on small stuff does add up. I've only been made aware of this recently, and I've played 1 session since then. The part that I am frustrated at, and this is where I'm not sure if it's fully me or not, is that there seems to be a huge double standard. I get talked over all the time, even though I've been scolded in the past that I interrupt a little too much. I get it. We play remote and we accidentally all do it. But I'm only aware of me being scolded. I could be wrong though. I've done everything in my power to make sure my ADHD excitement doesn't get the better of me, but I do sometimes fail. I think now though, the DM that I've played with for going on 3 years seems so done with me. He mentioned that if a moment that I wanted to do got skipped, that I should wait for the current scene to end and then say, hey DM, can we go back for a moment? I had something I wanted to do before this all started. I did that in our last game and it seemed small, but it was super important for my character. An NPC our party befriended was found dead, and my character knelt down and closed his eyes, and I wanted her to say a prayer, but I got interrupted and the scene moved on.
Oh, cool. You get interrupted. That's wild.
When I said I wanted to go back, the DM just seemed annoyed at me for doing what he asked me to do. He also seemed annoyed that my character wanted to do some research for lore reasons. Like I was an inconvenience for the other players to do so. I also had a moment where my character wanted to do sendings to her family and he was super annoyed, but didn't seem bothered when another character did the same thing like 5 sessions ago. He might have been annoyed because it was done once before already, I don't know. I struggle with a lot of social cues, ADHD, possibly autistic but not confirmed yet, and I'm just not sure what I'm missing here. I feel singled out now, like everything I do is an inconvenience. I'm not sure how to go on, but I do love this campaign. It's the second one in the world, and we got to level 20 in the first campaign. Am I going to have every moment be under scrutiny because I messed up in the beginning of the campaign? I feel unwanted, but I don't want to lose this campaign. How do I turn this horror story around? I have to be missing something that I'm doing wrong, obviously. Has anyone else been the horror story and been able to fix it once you were made aware of it? I'm just afraid I won't be given a second chance. I do not want to be the horror story.
Yeah, you are missing one thing. And what you're missing is, let me rephrase the title of your very eloquently put post here. It's them, your DM. It's them, the problem, the DM. Because they don't like you.
Yeah.
I don't think it's anything to do with the way you're playing.
Yeah.
You've been asked to do things a certain way, and every table has a different way of playing. That's totally fine.
Yeah.
Hey, we don't talk over each other. Hey,
Yeah.
if you want to do something and it was in the past, we wait until the end of a scene, we do a little rewind, we go back, we do it. Totally fine. If that's the way you want to play your game, that's totally fine.
Yeah.
But then asking somebody to do something and then rolling your eyes and stuff like that and sighing and being like, oh God, and being annoyed. It's just just tell somebody you don't like them.
Yeah.
Instead of stringing them along and making up all of these bullshit reasons as to why that they should do something or should not do something, and then they do what you ask them to do, and then you're annoyed anyway because you don't like them.
Yeah.
Just be honest.
Yeah,
just
I
be
know.
honest with people instead of making them literally. This person is blaming it on their autism. They're blaming it on their ADHD. They think they're the problem. You've literally gaslit somebody into going onto the internet and thinking that they are the problem, but they can't figure out why because you're a spineless piece of shit.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think you're completely right. I think this is a case of, and I think OP is being really self-aware here, being like, in the past, I have had behaviors that have annoyed people. I have interrupted people. I have done things. But as soon as they were told, they did try to fix it. The DM said, hey, do this thing. And they are doing it, but it's not enough. I think what's happened here is, if it's too far gone, I think these people were so annoyed at you for whatever happened in the beginning, which, by the way, that happens. It happens. People annoy each other. You spend 3 years with anyone, there's going to be moments where you annoy each other,
There's
right?
gonna be moments where you annoy each other. It's totally fine.
And
but, go on.
I think what's happened is it's too far gone, but the rest of the table, the DM at least, is telling OP that it's not too far gone and is literally just stringing them along.
You're just a
for
liar.
For what reason?
You're just lying. You don't like them. If you don't want them in your game, instead of stringing them along and gaslighting them into thinking things about themselves and stuff like that, just kick them out.
Totally.
If you are just that desperate to just put them down, just kick them out.
Yeah,
it's so much easier.
This feels quite cruel to me.
It's cruel as and like you were saying, I did interrupt people in the beginning. It's just but so did everybody else.
Yeah. Well, so and by the way, continuously to you now as it's happening.
I don't know if they did something wrong enough in the beginning to warrant this, or the people have just realized that they just don't like them. And it's look, we can't like everyone.
No, of course not.
I dislike loads of people.
Yeah, same.
Especially now I'm old.
Yeah.
And it's totally fair. As you get older, you want to spend your time with people you want to spend your time with.
Yeah,
and if you don't want to spend time with people, that's totally fine. But what you gotta do is tell them.
Yeah, I know.
Not telling them and keeping them around and just being mean to them is bullying.
It is.
You're literally, this person's now basically got a fucking complex about themselves.
I know.
That they may not ever get over.
Yeah, I know.
Because you're such a coward.
Yeah.
You're such a spineless coward.
And
it's
the thing
crazy.
Is, the DM, I wonder what the DM gets out of this, right? Does the DM get out of this not on the face of things being the upfront bad guy, right? Yeah. But the thing is, the DM is being the bad guy.
He's being the bad guy.
I would dread to think if, let's say I was the DM and I knew this person annoys me, that they've gone past the point of no return for me. Mm-hmm. So no matter what they do, I can't forgive them because they did X, Y, Z. And by the way, the DM is entitled to feel that way, right? That's an okay thing. But what you are not entitled to do is keep them around for what? If I was the DM and I found out that this person had to go to the internet saying, hey, I'm a problem player. I know I'm a problem player, but, I love this game and I don't want to leave, but I feel really unwanted. What do I do? That would be devastating.
Yeah.
That's a devastating thing. And I really feel for OP here because
so bad for OP.
We've all been in OP's position where you're not liked, you're not wanted. You are hanging out with people because you kind of have to, because you don't have anything else.
You want to play D&D.
You want to play D&D. You love the game. It means a lot to you. And you're kind of like, well, it's this or nothing. And we all have been there where we've been the person who tags along and you're obviously not wanted. And people try to do everything to ditch you. And people make mean comments about you and ignore you and make you feel like the problem purely for the fact that they just don't like you. I really feel for OP.
It's bullying.
It is.
Honestly,
it is. And I know OP says like, I don't want to leave. I love this game.
It is the best thing for you to do.
I think at this point, there's nothing OP can do. I don't think.
Unless all of these people realize they've been bullies and there's a miraculous turnaround and they go like, do you want to know what, actually? Like, yeah, you maybe have some tendencies that were annoying at first, but you've changed your behavior and like, we're really glad and we're really happy and we need to drop the feelings that we hold that are negative against you from before. But do you want to know what? Something tells me that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Because we're at this point. And do you want to know what? I think at this point, it's too far gone.
It is too far gone.
Too far gone.
And,
there's so many tables out there for you, OP, that aren't this one.
And I think, it's really easy to paint someone as the scapegoat.
Yeah.
It's really easy to be like, oh, they've had behaviors in the past that have annoyed me, for example. And then because they annoyed you so much, anything they do, you just relate it back to that, and it builds and it builds. And this is a really toxic environment for everyone.
Yeah.
Like the DM, for whatever fucking reason, not just saying to OP, hey, look, it's gone too far. I'm sorry, you're not playing anymore.
Yeah.
It hurts and it sucks.
That would the initial hurt would be rough,
Yeah.
but you would all be better off.
Yeah,
OP would be better off, the table would be better off, everyone would just be in a better place mentally.
But now I really feel for OP.
Yeah, so
I
do
really I don't know what OP did, right? I don't know. And we've all been a problem player at some point. We've all done things that have pissed people off.
Yeah.
We've all had behaviors that have been not good.
And the problem is other people at the table have had the exact same behaviors.
And
they're just
for some reason they're not getting
the same treatment.
Yeah. I think OP is being used as a scapegoat.
It's a scapegoat,
here.
yeah, 100%.
And I think OP is really being this is really cruel.
This is horrible.
OP, I sincerely doubt you're watching, but you are absolutely not the asshole. Even if you've been the asshole in the past, by the way, doesn't mean that you're the asshole forever.
But the thing is,
you can change.
Yeah, and you're so open to changing.
Yeah.
Like, oh, hey, yeah, they said I do this, so I'm trying to do this instead. And now I do this, they're still annoyed at me.
They asked me to do this.
I don't know what I'm doing. It's just like, you've literally... Yeah, look, we all do things that can annoy people.
Naturally.
It's just, we're human beings. We can get annoyed by things and we can do wrong things, but then somebody says to us, hey, can you do this? Yeah, sure. They do this. They're still annoyed at you. Hey, they just don't like you.
Yeah.
There's literally nothing you could do on this earth that would appease them.
Yeah.
They just don't like you.
Yeah, I really, really feel for OP.
This is just pathetic behavior.
And anyone listening, by the way, if you've ever been in a position like this, D&D or not, it sucks to cut those ties. Because it's like, well, at least I still get to play D&D, but it's like, yeah, but at what cost?
Yeah.
No D&D is better than bad D&D.
I wonder if OP is femme presenting.
I that was also honestly my something that I was thinking of as well.
Yeah.
OP is already the youngest, already the youngest in a group, and I just think, I made an annoying character by accident. She keeps bringing the mood down. Like, and, maybe there is something to say also about the fact that I don't know how the other tables act, but, OP sounds like, there's these things that happen. It's story-based. She overreacts a lot. They wanted to roleplay.
Well, she the character.
Yes, they wanted to roleplay that an NPC that died, and they just wanted to say a few words. Maybe this is a case of like styles not aligning.
I don't think. But I think we can boil it down to a number of things.
Yeah.
But I just think they don't like OP.
I know, and I'm sorry, OP. That's horrible.
I'm sorry that you feel like you're the bad guy.
Yeah,
when you're
OP. These people aren't your friends.
No,
they're really, really not. And unless you're able to have a conversation and they apologize to you, and you really
change their behavior.
You genuinely can start with a clean slate, which is what you all deserve. Then you should leave. It's not worth it. And that goes to anyone listening. It's 100%. Not worth it. If you're made to feel unwanted, it's probably for a reason.
Yep.
And you don't deserve to be treated like that.
No.
I'm sorry. That's horrible.
Nobody.
That's horrible. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, OP.
All right, this is the last one.
Okay.
And this is the last one. This is titled, Am I the asshole for wanting to quit a campaign early after an annoying, guy ruined my big twist? I'm going to keep this short and sweet. Edit. I did not, in fact, keep it short and sweet. I'd worked heavily with the DM, a close friend of mine, to craft a changeling rogue who actually used to work for the big bad of our campaign and is now on a quest for revenge.
Okay.
But all of that was meant to be a twist, as the other players thought I was just a quiet human with a subclass in being a ranger. I wanted a pet birdie.
Yay.
That is until I made the mistake, or little hint, because the plan was they eventually figure out through my mistakes that I make in my backstory a reaction to seeing my boss again, where I just try to kill him no matter the plan we make, of saying something like, I actually practiced a little bit of magic in my long life. I only know a spell that can change my form for a minute, as an option to sneak past a guard and a bit of role playing, like, hey, he can't typically do that, something fishy is going on. Suddenly, this one guy I'd never met before, but is apparently the most die-hard D&D encyclopedia at their table. This was my second game with him. I'll admit, I only played a few times before with my friend and some of the people at the table, not the whole group. This was like my fourth time playing, my first game of a new campaign for me, but not for them. They shout out something like, that's not on your character sheet, and you can't use magic. You're already multiclassing. And the DM directed him to address that in-game, but he just would not let up. I did make the mistake.
That is so annoying.
So fucking annoying, by the way.
So annoying.
So fucking annoying. I did make the mistake of pushing when he finally took it to role-playing, and honestly, I just wanted them to brush it off and let me shapeshift once in a while. But then he started being rude about how, well, I just didn't understand the rules enough to be at the table, and I can't just do whatever I want.
Oh my god, shut up. Oh my god, hey. Shut up. Shut up.
Eventually, I just let up, and I kind of angrily said, fine. My character reveals much earlier than he wanted to that he is a changeling and his name is not XYZ. The player got real quiet, but didn't apologize and just said, oh, okay, see, that makes sense now.
Interesting.
Which got me so pissed off.
Interesting.
Other people at the table tried to play along and tried to make it an interesting scene, but we called the game off early because everyone was a bit highly strung. I don't want to keep playing this character anymore. He's fun and all without the twist, but that was the big moment that I was waiting for, and now it's just ruined with no way of setting things back. And I don't really want to make a new character and rejoin with that guy, but he's been part of their table for like a year now and is the boyfriend of one of the players. My friend is telling me that things just don't always go the way you want, and there will be way more cool moments for my character if I come back and play, but I just don't want to anymore. Am I the asshole? Keep in mind, I'm still somewhat new to the game. Don't rip me apart if I am. I will listen and concede if I'm wrong for this, but I just don't know.
Nah, ain't no way.
Man. Like,
ain't no way. Ain't no way.
Listen.
It's like, do you want to know what? Even if they weren't a changeling, even if they were just a human ranger, whatever it was, and I don't know, they had a hat of disguises or something like that.
Isn't fucking disguise self on the ranger?
I don't think so. I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
It
That's
doesn't matter.
the point.
It doesn't matter.
They might have a magic item where once a day, like it's in their backstory that they need to keep hidden from somebody, so they've got a magic item or they've got the innate ability to just cast disguise self once per day. Yeah. It's just like, but you can't do that. It's just like this is what you do with somebody like that. This is what you do. You turn to them and you say, "Hey,
you don't know anything.
You don't know anything about my character.
You don't know anything.
We're brand new to this game. Just because you know that I'm a human ranger doesn't mean you know my character.
Just because I'm appearing as a human ranger.
Just because I'm appearing doesn't mean you know anything about my character.
They could literally be a reflavored Furbolg. Furbolgs get this ability. They could be a reflavored Warlock with an invocation of Mask of Many Faces.
Do you want to know what the insult, the actual insult to turn to the person and be like, "Oh, you don't know enough to play at our table."
Yeah, you can't just do whatever you want, by the way.
Then they reveal. Do you want to know what I understand? Do you want to know what? Out of spite, I understand why you reveal this, and you know it feels bad because you've ruined your own backstory because of this person, and for them to not even say
sorry.
Hey, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh, that makes sense now.
Oh, that makes sense now. It's like, hey, it does make sense.
Yeah, it does. And you know what? Do you know who knew that? Me and the DM. It's none of your fucking business.
Why do you have to get
none of your fucking business? And you know what?
Oh my god.
I think it's
God. This is the most frustrating story I think I've ever heard.
And like the thing is, it's I don't know if it's, you know, I can only speak from my experience at our table. us as players, we have no fucking idea what other people have.
This happens
we have
at our
no
table.
idea.
I know exactly what happens when this happens at our table. You're a human ranger, or you're a human rogue. You got no magic, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then you magically turn into something else. Everyone goes interesting.
Ooh. And then everyone's characters on the night are going to be like, hey, so what was that about?
Hey, yeah, what was that about?
The DM was like, hey, player, ask them in character.
Ask them in roleplay.
And then they didn't.
It's like they do this thing that you don't expect them to do.
You go, ooh.
Everyone goes, ooh, outside of character. And then we get on with the mission. And then on the nighttime, you go, hey, that was impressive. Like, how'd you do that?
Yeah.
And then they drop little hints about the backstory and it thickens. And
I know. And I think that's really how OP wanted this to go.
That's how it fucking should go.
I completely agree.
What about you can't just do whatever you want.
That's not on your character sheet.
That's not on your character sheet. You don't have any magic.
How do you know what's on their character sheet,
Shut
dude?
up.
That's my question. How do you know what's on their How do you know what's on their character sheet?
Why are you reading my character sheet?
Unless everyone is the type of table where you share character sheets so you know what everyone has. But you don't know what's on my character sheet. What the fuck?
Do you want to know what? It's devastating that you've revealed your whole backstory.
Yeah.
Do you want to know what? I'm that petty bitch that would do the same thing.
Yeah, see,
and it ruined my own backstory just to shut you the fuck up.
Yeah, see, I feel like I do have opinions on that. The idea of biting your nose off to spite your face, I feel like isn't productive for anyone.
No.
OP now, unfortunately,
I know.
has said the story out loud, right?
Yeah.
It is OP who has spoiled their story for everyone in the hopes of trying to make someone feel bad. I think the only thing I could maybe credit them, not even being the arsehole for honestly spoiling their own time, is that I think there is something to be said about that. There was a more constructive way to go about this.
Yeah, it was. But you want to know what?
But I can't say I blame you.
Yeah, I can't say.
I can't say I wouldn't do the same.
I would do the same thing. And this is the thing. Like, emotions get the better of us sometimes.
Yeah, they do.
But you want to know
me
what?
Being accused, by the way.
Let this be the example. Dungeon Master takes this player to the side and says,
hey, you don't know.
You ever do that again, I'm kicking you from the table.
Yeah.
There's no ifs, there's no buts, there's no third chances.
Yeah.
It's like, you don't know what's on everyone's character sheet.
No.
And if you do that again, you're out.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't kick them from the game.
Yeah.
Because that behavior is dreadful. Boyfriend or not, I couldn't give a fucking shit.
To accuse a new player saying, well, you just don't understand the rules enough to be at this table and you can't just do whatever you want, that's absolutely fucking pestilent.
And when actually, by the way, it was you who didn't know.
Yeah, because you had no fucking idea.
Because you'd have no fucking idea.
You have no fucking idea.
Stay in your own lane and shut up.
Yeah, I know. And I think that their friend is right. There is far more avenues for this player, this character, to have cool moments. Yeah, definitely.
We could defos bring it back and write something. Bully, stop this. Write something in to still make this character cool. All is not lost.
Would I want to go back to this character at this point? I wouldn't.
I don't think I would. I wouldn't blame OP if they didn't want to.
No, same. And I think that there is definitely more constructive ways to go about this than just spoiling the time for yourself, to be honest with you, in the hopes of making someone feel bad. But I can't say I wouldn't do the same.
I can't say I blame you.
I can't say I wouldn't. I can't say I blame you. Yeah,
do you want to know what? To not even get a sorry.
I know, to not even fucking get a sorry.
That would boil my fucking piss.
Fuck people like this, by the way.
Shut up.
Fuck people who are like, that's not on your character sheet. You don't know anything.
Why do you just worry about yourself?
Yeah, how about that? You don't know anything.
Worry about yourself.
Yeah.
If I'm doing something wrong, the Dungeon Master will pick me up on it.
Oh, that's pissed me off.
That's
pissed me off.
I think that is one of the worst actuallys.
Yeah, that's
fucking
heard. Pissed me the fuck off.
That's
to be
one
honest.
of the worst actuallys I've ever heard on this podcast.
I agree.
Ooh.
Yeah, that stinks.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
that stinks. That's it. We're leaving you on that one. I'm so sorry. God, has this ever happened to you? You know what? Something like this hasn't happened to me. Not like this. But there has been a moment where I've thrown the toys out the pram a little bit and ruined my own time.
I've thrown the toys out the pram once before.
Yeah, and it sucked. It was a horrible time.
I didn't feel good about it, sadly.
Yeah, it was horrible.
But do you want to know what? At the same time, it's the same thing. It's just like the person just
wouldn't
let up.
When you get antagonized to the point of doing it, and it sucks. This is a feels bad for fucking everyone.
100%.
And I'm sorry, OP. That you, by the way, OP and anyone anyone new to D&D, you do deserve to be at the table.
Yeah,
by
you
the
do
way,
deserve to be at the table, 100%.
Sure, you might not know everything. Which, by the way, OP knew everything. OP just played a fucking shifter, and this idiot didn't know. But
a changeling.
Whatever
it was.
Yeah.
Who fucking cares?
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. You deserve to be at the table.
Yeah. You don't have to know everything to be at the table.
God, no.
The thing is, you will learn everything about the game at the table.
Yeah.
That's where you'll learn everything about the game. You can join with minimal knowledge. You can join with no knowledge. As long as you've got a desire to play and you treat everyone around you with respect. That's what we care about.
Absolutely.
The person in this story did not treat this person with respect.
Not at all.
Doesn't matter
not at all.
Doesn't even matter how much they know about the game.
No respect, no leniency.
Turns out, by the way,
they were wrong.
They don't know as much as they think they do.
Yeah. No respect, no leniency, nothing. Just went straight with, you don't deserve to be at this table.
How about you shut up?
Oh.
Anyway. Thanks so much for being here.
Hope you're as annoyed as we are leaving this video.
If you're pissed off, let me know down in the comments.
Yeah.
If you're annoyed, leave a like on the video. If your jimmies have been rustled, why don't you ring the bell?
Yep.
All those things go a million miles to help the video. Make sure you check out some merch, maybe a good little Xmas present for somebody, a loved squad blaster of yours. www.lgpodblast.co.uk. Why don't you treat yourself to some Patreon action for the Christmas holiday period?
You know what? We've gotten
so many new patrons.
So many new patrons. It's been amazing having you. Oh my gosh. Thank you.
Check out the Patreon. It's a great way to support the channel. If not, totally fine. Thank you so much for considering it. Come join us on Twitch every Friday, every Sunday, every other Tuesday. I love you.
I love you.
Bully loves you.
Yes.
We have been the Eldritch Podblast, and we're going to see you on Monday. Bye.
And another huge thank you to our patrons for all of your support. A big shout out to our fellow entities.
Hoobs.
Ariel.
Tula.
Runarian.
Arkham Labs Cosplay.
Maddie. Luna.
Teddysaurus.
Caspian. J-Spot.
Ultrafail.
Dallin M.
Sleepy.
Joe Dragonlord 2.
Alistar.
Lawkeeper Society.
Ricky B.
Danny Phantom.
Catherine.
Faustskin.
Azuriel.
Panda Queen Plays.
Xylo Boy.
Lucas Iapetis.
Luna River. Christomancy.
The Tacos Are Here.
Gavin.
Raynanana.
Aubrey in Spring.
Scrimbles.
KC Joe 1313.
Keplin 1000. Thank you again for all your support.
And if you too would like to become a patron of the Eldritch Podblast, check the link below.